Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Relatively Speaking. I'm Mark Ackland. This is my brother Bill. Just kind of talking about topics that are happening here in and around Macomb County. And we got a kind of a very interesting topic to talk about today, and it's Freedom Hill. I say Freedom Hill. The experience I've had with that over the past has been kind of long established back in the early 1980s, first concert I went to. But the guy we brought in today to talk a little bit about what's going on currently at Freedom Hill and some of the things that are happening and kind of get you excited about the concert, I guess not only the concert venue, but the concerts that they're putting on, is Dave Clark. And Dave is the president of Michigan Live Nation Entertainment. And Dave, we want to thank you for coming here. And more importantly, we're excited about hearing what's going to be happening over at Freedom Hill.
All right. Yeah. Well, nice to see you guys both. The Michigan Lottery Amphitheatre at Freedom Hill. We work with Vince from your team quite closely. That park has come a long way since I first stepped foot on that years ago, and it's very much changed since you first were there. When was your first experience at Freedom Hill as far as an amphitheater?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It's one of those. It was one of those concerts, and again, those that are listening probably can drive back in their memory. But Journey was the very first concert I went to there, and it was probably the second concert they had on the hill. And I say the hill because it did not, have anything that was.
That was it.
It was a hill.
That's right. It was the ill hill, right at the time.
It
was. Yeah. No seats, no roof.
No, you sat up on that hill.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was exciting because Journey was there, but I got to tell you, I liked the band I liked was Pat Benatar.
Right on.
And she was playing for him as well. So I was excited. It was 1980. I just got graduated from Sterling Heights High School, and we went to that concert, a bunch of us, and had a good time. It rained, but none of us seemed to care. The only thing that was covered was the stage.
Yeah.
As they were
you were
playing.
ready to let your hair down. To escape. It was the summertime, and sort of, going to concerts in the summer is a tradition for people in Michigan. We get cooped up, we see it right now. Look outside, that it might be snowing right now while we're taping this. People don't know, but at a point where that cabin fever and going out to shows in the summertime. And, if you think about it, Macomb, has this regional amphitheater that for years was, just a hill and then turned into a proper amphitheater. And there aren't a lot of amphitheaters its size throughout the country. Most of the amphitheaters that exist, if you think of like Pine Knob in northern Oakland County, that's 15,000 capacity, and Freedom Hill is half of that size. So it's really a miniature Pine Knob, right? But we're able to attract the type of talent that goes up to Pine Knob and then back down, through the years. If Journey played there at one point, recently they were at Little Caesars Arena, completely different lead singer now. They've been up to Comerica Park and in between, right? There's a whole cycle. So the spot to have this 7,500 capacity amphitheater, seats, lawn, the roof, the concourse, the club, everything, you don't have that everywhere, which is fantastic.
Well, it's amazing. Having it in our own backyard, I got to tell you, it's a true asset. And again, it's not just the Macomb County theater. This is a regional, if not statewide. And I got to believe we have people that are in attendance from all across the country that want to come to some of these.
They do. And in fact, so I pulled some numbers just sort of coming to you guys. We were really lucky to pull a season off last year. What happened. We don't even need to talk about it. But, it's hard. Bill, you were asking, getting people to play. The hardest thing is how much time in advance it takes artists to get their tour together.
Yeah, my question was going to be, how do you get groups? Do they contact you or do you contact them?
Well, I can tell you in the year 2020, there was a lot of contacting of, can we do anything? Will we be able to do anything? If we can, when is it going to be? And we really came down to the wire, but the phone calls that come in, it's sort of half us making phone calls out to ask people, hey, are you aware of the building? This is the stuff that's played. This is what's successful. This is what we can pay you. And over the last few years, as we've had more and more success putting on events here, we're getting more calls coming in with people looking to play, right? And it's because, as they route around the country, if a band, say, the Hackle Brothers are performing across the country, and you decide you told your wives we're going to leave town and go on the road and play 30 shows.
And they say good riddance.
And they say, all right, try to go do 40, right? Come back whenever you want, right? So if they're going to play 30 shows across the country and coast to coast, California to New York, down through Florida, across to Texas, and across the U.S., where can they play? And where's the population that they need to serve their fans? Where's the area that the stage is big enough that they can serve their production? and then where can they make, can they gross enough money with the ticket sales to pay for all the overhead cost, make their profit, and then move on down the road. And at this size, it's really a niche size. We call it, Freedom Hill we refer to as a boutique size amphitheater, whereas the larger ones are just amphitheaters. Yeah. So using the terminology and, looking through history at the success, back in 2019, there were 21 concerts that we did, okay? And not everything sells out. I love it when things sell out. I hate to turn people away that want to see a show. But if we completely sell out a show, that means that we might have been able to play it at a bigger place. What we want to do is come just to the point, so we're playing the right size room. We averaged around 5,000 people a show in that season, which was great.
And there's something intimate about it. I mean, it's an
experience. That's true indeed. There's, the place holds 7,500. There's more physical seats undercover than there is on the lawn. Only 3,000 of that is on the grass, behind the seats. And it is intimate. I mean, we closed the season out with a band called Glass Animals. They're from the UK. They've had the #1 song on the charts for months and months since then, and we were lucky. They're way bigger today, than when we booked it. But when the show played, they were bigger than Freedom Hill. And it was a great way to close the season out. It was a completely sold out crowd. People from all over the region came to the show, which is another of the things I love about Freedom Hill. It's easy to get to. I mean, there's plenty of infrastructure roads coming in. There's plenty of parking. And there's places to go beforehand, afterwards. You got the restaurants, you got the bars. It's not way out in the boonies. It's been a great experience to bring shows here.
And there's been a transition. I mean, you think about it. I mean, it went through some growing pains. I mean, let's be honest about it. The challenges of the actual theater kind of somewhat embedded in the neighborhood. With that being said, we've done a lot with the hill itself and trying to make sure the sound, making sure it's not getting into the neighborhoods, whatever. But you think about the guys that were there when they first started this. Joe Beccari, Gary Renselli. They started off with this, and then, I think it evolved when, obviously Tom Chelani came into play.
Oh, yeah.
And, he really kind of amped it up and did a heck of a job with the experience that you can get for going into, eating.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That back room that they have over there where people can go ahead and eat if that's part of your ticket, that you purchased. The experience of people just interacting with one another. I see the intimacy. I've been there a multitude of times. And, seeing it evolve from the time when, Journey was there just on a hill to what we're seeing today, it's quite a unique experience. If people haven't gone there, they need to take that opportunity.
That VIP club doesn't exist at other buildings at the capacity to 7,500. A VIP club of that size and experience is usually reserved for the much bigger places, which is fantastic because it really elevates the experience for all the people that go.
Yeah, to Bill's question, when you were asking earlier, who comes to these things, or how did you get a hold of you? You get a hold of them. I'm just going to say it. I got to throw it out there because I've never been able to ask the person this or anybody who does all the booking of this. What about a guy like a Bob Seger? Would he ever have an interest in coming to Freedom Hill for some type of a concert?
Bob has been at Freedom Hill. He came to see Elvis Costello.
Really?
Yeah, sat in the seats. But you mean play.
That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah, so Bob is, I've had the opportunity to tour with Bob and do a lot of shows with him. The tough part is that after finishing a very lengthy tour that ended in 2019, we did 72 shows on that tour. Now to sort of start it back up again, it's about what does he want to do,
right?
But is that like an Opryland thing where they come up on the stage and all of a sudden, there's Vince Gill shows up with somebody.
Yeah,
and I'm going to the guest guitarist.
Yeah,
it's and it's tough, and we've talked about that. People like Bob who have been through the years, right? So Journey was playing there. And they had a huge career, right? Huge career. And then when you saw them, it's like 80, it's like they're playing Freedom Hill. It's like, wow. And then they grow again, come back. Will Bob play there? I wouldn't bet on it. However, if the opportunity were to present itself, we're connected to figure it out.
Or he changes his name and no one knows who it is.
Yeah.
He just shows up and plays that way and plays the music. They always wanted to play.
Well, that's why I'm glad you went back to the Pine Knob. It's like I had a hard time with the DTE. I get it.
That's
right. That's naming rights and all that. But the reality was, I think everybody else, at least my age, was still calling it, Pine Knob.
It's always been called Pine Knob, right?
I don't think I missed one concert when Bob Seger was there.
Yeah.
Even if it was night after night, I would go to those concerts. He was absolutely one of my favorites. afterwards.
Well, we hope Bob isn't done performing. You know, I highly doubt he is. Right?
There are other festivals that go on.
Yeah.
Are you involved in that at all?
You're talking about at the amphitheater or just other places?
That whole facility there.
Yeah, outside on the grounds. That's usually us. That's ours. We take care of those. Whether it's Italian festival.
Vince goes on. So if you're doing the drive-in in the movies, or if there's yoga, there's all the other stuff.
Polish festival. I'm just thinking East of Italian festival.
Now we did put on some things with other artists where we will set up a large stage in the park, fence it all in, have activities, and then use the theater inside as a second stage. We're actually in communication right now with an artist who's originally from Michigan who wants to do something on an annual basis, and we've talked extensively over the last 2 weeks.
Oh, the M&M's coming in.
Formerly of Michigan, I should say.
They took care of that. There you're done. Now you're done.
Originally from Michigan.
Could be Kid Rock.
So keep trying. Keep trying.
But things in the park. I mean, the park is got so many amenities to it that you got the big picnic shelter, you got that small band shell, and it's got
playground area for the kids.
The playground area. Right. Yeah, we talk a lot about how to utilize that in conjunction with the amphitheater.
All right.
Yeah, and Vince is all about it. So
and we try to make sure there's no conflict. I mean, obviously, what gets first bid on that is going to be obviously any concerts that they have. Right. We never try to schedule anything that has something to do with.
What's your season? Runs from when to when?
Historically, Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Okay.
But these days, we're looking at it to like Memorial Day to mid-October.
Yeah, because Michigan's just getting warmer.
Yeah, it's changing, right? It's for us. It's more about wet weather, right?
Right.
So people are hardy, right? They go to outdoor baseball games to playoff time. It's snowing. I mean, opening day was snowing, but in order to do
college football's in the winter.
Yeah, college football, whatever. But we try to be more cognizant of the rainier season. Once we get to April, we get to the end of May, and I'm sorry for cheating here because I've got so many things in my head because all across, but. We're starting the season this year on May 21, right? And right now we have things programmed to the first weekend in October.
All right, and is it like just Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
No, we'll play any day of the week.
Okay, that's
okay. And where do people go to look that up? In other words, you have some pretty good got some good ones coming up already.
So I mean, all the tickets we sell all our tickets on Ticketmaster. You brought a poster of when you
God, remember that? Isn't that funny?
The Journey show with
Send
Pat Benatar.
Stamped self-addressed envelope and a $1 service fee to Son of Bamboo.
Yeah, do we ever know what happened with the Son of Bamboo?
No,
because
Swami.
I remember
Dave's going to research that when he leaves.
Bamboo. I just don't remember the Son.
Yeah, we make it a little easier now where you can just log online. I mean, the box office at Freedom Hill will open early May, so like May 9.
Is there a link on the county website to link them to this if people want to look it up?
MakeMacomeYourHome.com.
There we go. There'll be a link for sure for all.
But again, you can just go right back to
if you go to the box office, you can save all service fees, right? If you're going online and buying them, you're going to pay a service fee a little bit above the ticket price. Right. But, if we start the season, right, and I look at it, and over the past several years, we've been trying to catch a vibe as to what the people in the community want to see. What they'll buy a ticket for and come, and then where people else will come in. And there's going to be some shows we book, and people are going to say, who the heck is that? Right. Yeah. But at this capacity, it's sort of niche-y, right? Something you might like, he's not going to like. And there's other things you both might go together. Your wife might want to drag you to go see Alicia Keys, and you say, I'm playing poker with the boys that night. There's another, you want to go see Whiskey Myers and, get your country on, and you're just doing it with the boys.
And I'm looking for the accordion guy.
Well, some of those, I'll let you go to iTunes, and I'll look at some of the concerts you have, and I'll look up the artists, and I'm trying to figure out who they are, because I don't know some of them, especially the newer artists, these young kids. And I'll go to iTunes and try to figure out what their more favorite songs or I guess more popular songs and listen to it, and all of a sudden, many a time I go, oh my God, I do remember that, but I didn't know who the artist was.
It happens all the time. People know the song, they don't know the artist.
Right.
How long have you been in the business?
We're coming up on 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah. You were expecting a long-haired hippie to walk in, weren't you?
No, not at all.
That's just judges.
It was more of, it's like what music you get to play in this neighborhood in Sterling Heights.
Yeah.
And because there used to be censorship stuff, and sometimes you couldn't play, either it was too loud, or the guy would swear.
Yeah, get off my lawn.
Or, do the Prince thing, and it would be just horrible. I mean, did you ever have to deal with that?
If you think back to when they put the parental guidance label on the CDs, that's what you're talking about, or the FCC guidance, or, George Carlin's The Things You Can't Say, right? The only sort of censorship stuff we have to be worried about have to do with like liquor commission laws, right? You can't have nudity when, you're serving alcohol unless you have a certain class license, right? So the censorship we'll deal with would be something that someone puts on a video screen or that. But as far as the language goes, I try not to be the moral judge of what you like.
No.
Right?
And I'm asking, is any authority?
Well, no. I mean, I'm sitting with
no.
the authority. I think he can tell me whether he doesn't want certain things coming. But
and we get that. You'll get it from the neighborhoods. Every once in a while, somebody kind of goes off with some of their comments and, some of the things that they do say as part of their songs, or even as they're between songs, when they start talking. And sometimes they add a little flavor to it, and they'll say things. And, we get a few phone calls, Sterling Heights will, or we will. But that has really tapered off immensely over the years.
I would say one of the things that I found during, life is that music brings people together. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're voting on. It's people. There's unity within music, and so many times you might find yourself listening to something with somebody that you were, just getting in an argument with about a completely different topic.
Good music is good music.
That's right. Yeah. It brings people together.
Well,
it's a unifier.
And the people that go to the concert all are enjoying that particular music, so they must like that artist. So they're not.
Yeah, it's more of a neighborhood thing, but I didn't know. The old police used to come in and you can't say these words and how dare you.
Billy clubs.
No. What was a comedian just, use that word? I can't believe it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Unless you're telling me I'm up for something this summer, no I haven't had a problem.
No, okay.
But I will tell you, I started to talk about doing different things. And, one of the things, Tom Chalani had talked about all the time is, we started with certain genres and we didn't have a lot of country over time. And we started booking more, and it's been successful. So, and I, it's funny, and I wrote down some shows, and it's not just country and Western anymore, and that's what some people would say, oh, it's country and Western, or, what kind of music do you like? I like everything except country. We go through it now. There's outlaw country, there's bro country, there's, classic country. I mean, there's so many different little niches of country within that genre that we can book it all. A lot of people is like, what is that playing? And then the place will be packed. Yeah. Right? And no one knows.
How do you get a feel for that? In other words, is there something that you do to find out those demographics? Is there something that you follow?
Yeah, or? I mean, look, we've got a lot of data. That's one of the things, we do as a company. And Live Nation, it's gone from, like we said, the rock and roll and everything to really this music business. Backstage isn't about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's about briefcases and, computers and data really these days. I hate to pull the curtain back from the mystery. But yeah, we do a lot of data. We obviously have data on the people who buy the tickets. And then as far as, as things are going, internet music, when Napster started, the online phenomenon between Spotify and Pandora, and then all the research we get from our radio partners, and what's charting. So, I mean, if you listen to the radio and, you listen to the, WYCD or, that you start knowing what those top songs are going to be, what we're doing at a Freedom Hill level is a lot of the acts start off as support acts. They'll go out and be the opener for a bigger act. And then when they come back on their own, they've got to start off. So a lot of the acts that we have will be their first headline gig will either be, say, at a theater like the Fillmore downtown or, try to get to the Fox.
Right.
And then when they're ready, they can play, Freedom Hill. They're ready to go.
Who makes that call?
It's a combination between ourselves and the agent having the conversation is where do we think it's right? Okay. They've got an overhead cost. They know how many personnel they're going to have on the road, their sound, their lights, their stagehands that they carry on the road, the number of trucks they have for their production, and they've got a nut that they've got to hit, and how much they think the ticket prices should be for their fans. We work through the expenses, and if we can make it work based on what our data says it's going to sell, we'll determine where the building's going to be.
So for a list of the concerts, is it Michigan Lottery Amphitheatre, Freedom Hill?
Well, I tell you, people have to be really careful when they go online because there's a lot of websites, when you put in the wrong name, right, that you'll find people are trying to, really a lot of, if I say broker websites, you would know what I'm talking about.
Right.
People that are buying tickets and then trying to resell them over face value. I tell everybody, so one of our operating partners with Tom and Live Nation, we also work with 313 Presents, and they're dealing with the front of house operations. They're also the operating partner at Pine Knob and also Little Caesars and that. So, there's a lot of places you can go. 313 Presents has their information. LiveNation.com has information. When you're going to buy your tickets,
I type in Freedom Hill, Michigan.
Well, and that's it.
Will that work or no?
You'll eventually find it.
Okay.
I'm just worried that if people type in the wrong Freedom Hill Amphitheater, they find themselves at a website that looks like the proper site, and it's not. So I always tell anyone, if you're looking to buy a ticket to one of the shows, you're either going to the box office or you're going to Ticketmaster. And I don't want anyone to be duped by some of the people that are unassuming online finding the wrong site.
Okay, or 303%.
Yeah, or a lot of times, just go to the artist website, and they'll click through.
All right. Well, we appreciate it. Again, Dave Clark, President, Michigan Live Nation Entertainment. We thank you very much for giving us an update of what's going on over there at the Michigan Lottery Amphitheatre, Freedom Hill.
There's going to be at least 30 shows this year out there, so lots of opportunities to check them out.
I'll be going.
I'm a regular. Up early.
Hey, do you want? I mean,
you want to give us one?
I'm going to rattle it off.
Give us who's coming right now.
Hurry up.
All right, and I'll do it quick. So, Whiskey Myers, which is a country act, Russ is a hip hop act, the Deftones, which is a reschedule from a previous year that we had before, rock act, Rufus to Soul, who neither of you have heard of, completely sold out already. It's a dance electronic act. Sold out the day we went on sale. That's early on. You got the big fundraiser that Tom and Dario throw with Cars and Cigars every year.
Yeah.
Big event.
Country act Lee Bryce, the Jazz Spectacular, which is an annual jazz event that's done.
I've been to that.
We've got some sort of throwback boy band stuff that's coming with 5 Seconds of Summer or Big Time Rush. Third Eye Blind, which is a 90s act, who's coming. The Goo Goo Dolls are coming.
Oh, wow.
Right? Alicia Keys. We've got, if anybody watches Netflix, there was a big hit show called Cheer about cheerleading competition.
Oh, okay.
They're on the road this summer. They're coming. So, I mean, that's the first quarter or third that I just rattled off. I'm not going to take up your whole podcast.
More to come.
People can find it online. You don't have to like everything. Chances are you're going to find at least one thing that you do like this year.
Yeah, I've already heard several, so looking forward to it. Again, Dave, thank you once again for giving us an update, for being here and talking on our Relatively Speaking podcast. And once again, on behalf of my brother Bill and myself, we want to thank you for tuning in. And remember, in the meantime, keep you and your family safe.